as good versus evil. Even if you're trying to defend whatever you're trying to carry out, hey, have somebody like pick that dude up and walk him out of there. Don't just push him down like he's a like. I don't get the way they did it to him, and they expect not to get.
You can see cops in the video. One of them or two of them go down to
pick him up.
Lean down to pick him up, and you hear someone say, "No, fuck that, leave him," or something like that.
Yeah, no, it was one of the two cops that pushed him, goes to grab him and like go to his aid, and they make him stop.
That right there is the exact epitome of the racist system. Like that right there is a cop is trying to do the right thing, but the system, everybody else is like, oh no, fuck that.
The blue wall,
that is the issue right there.
I don't know if you guys heard what one of the cops said where he was calling in the incident, but he said we have a leaker. Not even we need assistance. Not even can we get medical attention. The way he called it in was just like movie-esque, like he said, we have a leaker. That's fucked up, dude.
Wow.
Like they're used to seeing blood from people's heads.
Yeah, dude, they're just so who says that? Who's so desensitized to see a 75-year-old man being knocked over where his head is bleeding out, and then we just have a leaker, that's it? You're fucked up.
And he wasn't doing anything in the video. He goes up to them. I think you said that he was trying to return supposedly some equipment or something, right?
Supposedly.
Yeah, you can see he has like a helmet in his hand. I think I told you that. I said this weekend.
He had some sort of something in his hand that's not his. But either way, he's not a threat against how many fucking SWAT cops? Get the fuck out of here, dude.
Ridiculous.
The way they push him too, like, how are you gonna push that guy back so far? And like, and President Trump was saying the fall was harder than the push, but he was still fucking pushed over. You know what I'm saying?
It's not like he's gonna he knows how he's gonna fall. The guy's an elderly dude, you know what I mean? And the fact that they're even analyzing the fall is ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's like they're grabbing at straws to protect these people who literally did something wrong on camera.
To justify it.
Yeah, and that leads into I don't know if we're done with that topic, but I just wanted to point out something else where President Trump releases a couple statements saying, I think this was on June 9th, which was yesterday. He says there will be no plans to defund the police, and local officials have been responding by basically protesting in their own ways by not following through with certain orders, certain curfews, and he's basically, the way he's saying it is so childish and saying, well, they better do it or else, like the way he responds is just kind of childish. If most people in local authority, police and stuff, they're doing their own silent protest by not and it's going to places where people are either protesting the cop or they're cops protesting other, and it's just getting out of hand on both sides. Who can you trust now? I know I can't trust any cop, but it's so hard for me to even call the cops now. I can't trust any of them. Long story short, President Trump released a statement saying he doesn't have any plans to defund the police at all.
I know he said that maybe a couple cities they want to try it, but that he thinks that it would be a huge mistake. And basically just glorifying the police and turning everything that we're trying to do into a joke, kind of.
I don't think has he even addressed the Black Lives Matter movement specifically?
I don't think so.
He hasn't said anything. He puts off like saying that anyone that's not like kind of with him is Antifa. So basically, like I don't know if he's trying to say that Black Lives Matter is Antifa or something like that. He's wording around it. Like,
right.
He's trying to not bring it out as much because he knows that they kind of fucked up on the George Floyd thing. So he's really not trying to avoid that speech right now.
There was I don't know if you guys saw a video. He was signing some type of, I don't know what document he was signing a couple of days ago, but 2 or 3 reporters were asking him the same question because it was about, basically asking him, what are you doing to combat the systemic racism that's going throughout our entire country. And he says, "Oh, do you mind? I'm trying to sign something right now. Can you please not ask me anything?"
What a little bitch! Oh my god!
And they ask him like 3 or 4 times, and he's like, all he says is, "What's happening right now is great for our country. Can you please be quiet so I can sign this?
Oh my god!
I'm trying to sign this document, please. Thank you."
Dude, he's just full of little bitch fits. I saw how CNN did a poll between him and Biden, and it showed that Biden was like well ahead of Trump, and the Trump's campaign was like, hey, you need to apologize for this, for putting this out. Like literally, that happened.
Wow.
I don't think he's ever publicly apologized for anything or admitted anything ever. Like, I think that's on record. He's never apologized. Like, I don't know. Like the other day, I had posted some stuff like about Obama, and I said like, I did a side-by-side of when Trump was walking into a photo op and a side-by-side of Obama walking with a bunch of people. And so someone kind of was like calling me out saying, well, you got to remember President Obama also did a bunch of like fucked up things in like the Middle East and like killed people too. And I said, yeah, but you know what? I feel he would have handled all of this shit way differently because Trump is basically fueling the fire right now. And I don't think Obama would have said a lot of things differently. He would have done a lot of things differently as well too. But my main point with that guy was there's people out there that don't want any kind of reform or any kind of like
they don't want change.
Yeah. And so I'm like, man, I don't see anything happening on both ends. Like, it's just, we're going to be at a stalemate and it's going to continue to do the same thing over and over. And we're going to vote someone in like Joe Biden or whoever, Biden Joe, or, whoever's going to be the next president. And it's going to be a slow progress, which is going to have, who knows what's going to happen with us. We still have COVID to look forward to.
Yeah.
We still have economic crisis. Fucking, there's millions of jobless people out there that don't have anything, and we're relying on government fucking help. We're relying on public food help, so not only do we have a race war, we have good versus evil, we have an economic war, we have a political war, we have a spiritual war. 2020 is no joke to be alive. No joke, dude.
I just feel like nothing, like how you said, like both sides are kind of pushing, against each other, and either side, they're not advancing. And it's mainly because I feel that, white people, which, even if they say, well, I'm not racist, internally, like, you've been molded by the system to think certain ways, the system that is racist. So unless white people are like questioning, well, what's wrong with us, like we like literally we are sick to think that why is it an argument that Black Lives Matter? Like, why is that even an argument that anybody, like physically their body has the right to be here? Like, that shouldn't even be the argument,
Yeah.
I just think that they don't get that. They don't get that they're saying this person physically it doesn't have the right to be in this world. Like, that's literally what they're saying. And people are too they don't want to admit that, you know, they don't want to admit that they're sick.
A lot of people are comparing it to a point in history where they're like, hey, you know, you guys always wonder what would you do during the Holocaust, or what would you do during you know, World War II or anything like that. This is basically what's happening right now. We're living during a time where it's a point in history where we have a chance to make something happen, and we're trying our hardest, and people all over the nation, all over the world are starting to see it, and it's because of where we're at in technology, where we're at in it's like we've advanced so far in technology, but we're declining in basic common sense and humanity, and just being a good person. If we were good people, this wouldn't happen, dude. If we were on the same level as technology was, we would be almost damn near utopia. But we can't do that because we have a very strong ego and an enabler in the fucking White House right now that is not doing anything to help.
And that that makes the human race like stupid. Like, literally, we are just stupid people destroying this world, you know, and just the majority just don't want to acknowledge that, because how you're saying, they don't want it to change.
Like the media, because they're not really. I know there was peaceful protests in La Mesa, and all they show. I was at my grandparents' house and we were watching the news for like 5 minutes, and then I had to turn it off. But they were just the only clips that they showed from the protests, and then that was the same day that everything got broken into, like the bonds and the banks getting set on fire. But all they were focusing on was the destruction, and they were showing clips of people who were throwing rocks at the cops' cars.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's what most of media focuses on, not just only here in San Diego, but every single place, regardless if it's a peaceful protest or not. Yeah. Which 90% of them are.
You know why that is, right? Because everybody in the media mainly is fucking white. The media was created for white people. So unless they're getting a diverse group in there, unless black people are in power there too, like, you're only going to see what white people want you to see.
Yeah, and also, that's where you get all these people. Like, my grandparents are even like, oh my god, I can't believe they're destroying all that stuff. Look at them. Like, look, I can't believe it. And I'm like, you're seeing what the media wants you to see, so you're just being a puppet, basically.
Right.
Yeah, and being spoon-fed this stuff. I have social media. They don't have social media, so I follow people and I see, Instagram live videos of people who are at the protests when shit starts to get crazy, when the cops start shooting into the crowd for no reason. But the media doesn't cover that. They only cover the aftermath of when people are tired of getting shot at, and then they're throwing rocks back at them because they're getting shot with beanbags or rubber bullets.
Right.
Yeah, I have a lot of friends that are like, I was like, dude, you guys see those protests? Like, there's protesters getting beat up, and they were like, yeah, but I think the rioting is bad and the looting, and I'm like, those aren't the protesters. Why are you
exactly?
So people are totally ignoring the police brutality, the power, and strictly going to the looting and the rioting, and I'm like, those aren't the protesters, because they were. Why is there there's also white people and many other people taking advantage? Those are people, the opportunists that were taking advantage, while the peaceful protesters were basically getting jumped by the cops.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So look at that in that perspective. Like, that you can't blame. Like, I feel like people were blaming, like how they are blaming the protesters for the riots when those weren't them. Like, come on, dude. Like, doing that.
Yeah, the looting and the riot, like, they're looking at all protesters as just inciting riots and looting stuff, and therefore it's like casted a shadow over the bigger picture of what's going on and how many peaceful protests have been successful thus far since we've been started this, So it's a shame.
I I wanted to point out firsthand that we were there, Wes and fucking I was there, and I wanted to say that in the beginning of what happened,